The same terms come up in different ways? Yes, yes. If so, you're beginning to see right now the need to study this in a certain way, because you have to bring out the community and kinship of these one to the other, and then sit back and infer their affinities one with the other. Once that's done, and it's only after that's done, can we go on to the real study, the real fun. 2 parts, the prelude and the melody. The dialectic is broken up into 2 parts. One he calls the prelude, and the other calls the melody. He says dialectic is to be able to give an exact account of opinions and discussions. Then he introduces the allegory. Then he makes the second point, and he says, then you have to find the person, the individual, the dialectician, has to find his way to the essence of each. Each what? Hold that, all right? Because we have to go ahead to understand this, so just hold on to that for a moment. Until he approaches by the logos, by the word, by the logos, by pure reason itself, the very nature of the good in itself. Then he gives another reference back to the cave and the upper world allegory. All right, now, there is something interesting about that stuff, that radiance, luminosity being, because it is, in the truest sense, nothing dead, not like this. It is vitality itself. It's overflowing with vitality. It has a curious property, most curious of all, perhaps, that when encountered, it's like mind itself in its highest sense. When Plato talks about that, he calls it intelligence. And what you're encountering that has this vitality and this intelligence, which you can see immediately is akin to your own mind and mind itself, that you're encountering the very nature of reality or being. The word reality and being in this work are similar. Pardon me, essentially the same. Now, I want to add this now. This is capable of being absorbed into deeper, more profoundly, because it has its own reflective capacity. Hey, if you're lucky enough to get there, right, it has its own reflective capacity that you can go with it and penetrate it more deeply and more profoundly. That means it has the capacity to bring you along, turn you around into the very nature of reality. That expression in Greek is ousia. That's one word, ousia. And our translators translate it with the word essence. So, what is it? You have to find, the dialectician must find his way to the essence of each, what? We're going to hold that. But whatever it's going to be, it must be that which has the capacity to turn upon itself and bring you to a higher level of existence. For that's the nature of ousia, or essence. All right. What's this? The prelude. Now we have to go to the higher part of the dialectic, which is called the melody of the dialectic. Now, the melody of the dialectic, he starts off by saying, it's only, you can only reach this ultimate goal through the power of dialectic. It has a power. Because it's only through that power that this can be revealed. What can be revealed? The nature of the good in itself. How do you do it? How must dialectic proceed? It proceeds systematically. in all cases to determine what each really is. Each what? You're still asking, are you not? That's good. We haven't opened it up yet. All right? How do you proceed? In this highest part of the melody, it's a kind of reasoning that challenges the very hypotheses that underlie the system of exploration, and you have to do away with each one as you proceed until you reach up to the first principle of everything, of all, and there you find confirmation there. That's an insight into the nature of the good or the one itself. What is it capable of doing? It draws the soul up. Now, what do you have to do? He has a beautiful quote. Here it is. The dialectician must give an exact account of each. The dialectician must be able to grasp the essence of each and of the good, examining everything by essence. What are these things? These are the four key ideas in Book 6 and in Book 7. Those are the cognitive functions of the soul, the way in which the soul knows, experiences, and comes into touch with ultimate reality. You can have an image of it, draw a picture of it. You can have certain beliefs about it. You can reach an understanding of it. You can know it. Therefore, if you're going to be the dialectician, your goal must be systematically, in each case where these four terms are being used, to determine what each really is in itself. What else must you do? You must give an exact account of each, and by the use of this idea of essence, because you have to reach the essence of each, that means you have to take a look at this in such a way to see that this has potentially the power. Belief has the power of. Understanding has the power of. That's the goal.
Has a power. Do it transform.
Transforming power. Each has it because all cognitive functions are merely different ways of functioning of essence or ousia, the capacity to reflect upon itself and turn the mind upon itself. That's the goal. That's the dialectic. Right? And what are we using? We're now going to go through here one more step. He then puts this into a hierarchy. Remember, we needed the hierarchy before? And he says what you must do not only is to give an exact count of each of these, but then you must relate this to opinion. You have to relate these two, to the intelligible. You have to see that this realm of belief and what we now call opinion is really dominated by visualities, the visual world, the visible world. And therefore the king over the visible world is the sun, as that which rules over understanding and knowing is the intelligible world, and what rules over it is the nature of the good. Now he says, we must now work with this and see and transform it in all the ways in which it can be represented. And he turns to Glaucon and he says, we're not going to do it now. And Glaucon, his colleague in the dialogue, says, well, I'd like to do it. And he says, well, I'm not going to be able to do it for him. I don't think he'll be able to follow. And therefore he gives him, as it were, an assignment which is very similar to the assignment he gives him at the end of Book 6, which is to work out the implications of the divided line. This is called the divided line. The divided line is this, where you take a line and break it up into greater and lesser, and the same ratio is reproduced again. And here you put knowing, here you put understanding, here you put belief and image thinking.